Well, today we're going to put the truck in the shop on the hoist and get this sway bar and shocks installed. It's a beautiful morning. It's supposed to be extremely hot today. It's supposed to be like 31 degrees, but feels like 40. Hot and humid. Full day out here today. Actually, it's beautiful because it's hot, but you know what? It's the humidity. The humidity is just, it's probably sitting at 90%. Oh, there's Stormy Girls. Hey, Storm. That's my girl. What do you think? I'm thinking about doing a lift on my truck. That's about high enough, eh? So I'm almost 6'1". I was 6'1", but I think the last time I went to the doctor, he says, you're 6 feet, half an inch. So as you get older, you're shrinking. So I guess I'm shrinking, but no, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put on a sway bar and some, thank you, Storm. So there's the Hellwig sway bar right there. They call it the Big Wig. And then I got the Fox 2.0 shocks. I went with the Fox 2.0 shocks. The only thing I'm not really a fan of is they don't have a boot going over top. So we'll see how that works. I don't plan on being up here in the Canadian winters with the salt all over the roads anyways, so I'm sure it'll do okay. But anyways, I got the truck up on some blocks, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to get underneath there with the pressure washer and clean the undercarriage. Yeah, a tad bit overkill. Can you imagine that camper on a truck this height? I go around the corner doing 30 and I roll on my side. So anyways, I got the e-brake on, of course, and everything, but I'm going to put a couple of blocks behind the tires and the front of the back tires there, just to be safe, but I know she ain't going anywhere.
Hello, Liza, how do you do? I'm writing you a letter, I hope it reaches you. I know it's been a long time since you heard from me. I'm still kicking around here in Tennessee. I heard you got a new place, I heard you got a new job, I heard you got a haircut, and it looks real nice. Are you ever lonely? Do you ever think of me? I heard you got a new man, I hope it treats you right. And before you toss this letter away, there's something that I've got to say. An aeroplane shooting across the sky can surely take your body to a new place for a while. But some things stay no matter where you go. Do you still love me, Liza, babe? Please tell me yes or no.
All right, guys, so far I know I said I'm going to put the sway bar and the shocks on, but there's some other things I want to take care of first. So I got upper stable loads. Oh, sorry, I didn't realize the camera was off. I have upper stable loads, so there's one right there, and I already told you about this one. As you see, when I did my video on the truck, this shoe works its way this way. So my idea was to take a piece of flat bar and put a piece of flat bar down and then weld another piece out this direction here to rest against this, and that'll keep this straight on the shoe over to this side here. That's just kind of my thought as it goes right now. I'll tell you how fortunate I am, though, to have this shop to be able to do this there. So thanks to Jared and Shannon getting the truck up there, and Jared had a good suggestion too. So I'm going to. It's hard with a dually because the inside tires are on steel rims, so it's kind of hard to just rotate the tires, but I'm going to, like he said, take the outside aluminum rimmed tire and take it straight to the front and then cross. And then he says, for what it costs, he says, I would strongly recommend taking this thing in for an alignment. So there's a guy outside of Clinton. He does a real nice job. So that's a good idea. Before I hit the road again, why not, right? So anyways, yeah, we'll just keep working on her. Jamie.
What are you doing, my man?
Well, I am right now, got my truck on the hoist, tires all off her, and working on her.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Listen, the reason I phoned was I got a ground fault in my RV.
Yep.
And I had forgot whether you pour gas inside and throw a stick of dynamite in or whether you do it the opposite way, and I thought probably you...
Yeah, so this is anti-seize. And then we use this at work. We put it on anything you don't want it to seize up. So whether it's threads or if you got a steel part that, because in the salt mine, obviously you can just imagine what it's like at the salt mine. Anyways, we had a guy at work that every time he used anti-seize, he would get it all over his face and everything and push and, there's where my holes. He would work with anti-seize, and then of course he'd come back in the lunchroom there for lunch, and he'd have it all over his face and everything. And so all the guys teased him all the time. So yeah, he could never work with anti-seize without getting it all over his face. But anyways, he was a bit of an idiot. So anyways, also that worked out good. All right, just make a couple small holes. Marker. When you're drilling, and if you get when you know you got the perfect pressure and speed, when your drill bit does this, that means it's working perfectly. So I talked Jared into do some welding for me.
Proper PPE.
And the proper PPE right there, that's exactly what you want to be wearing.
There you go, my friend.
Done. Nice. Thank you. All right, so I got the brackets made up, and they're just hanging over here to dry, and yeah. I'm not prepared to talk about it right now. Anyways, so there's the shock there, the original shock. And I'm replacing them with the Fox 2.0 shocks. Like I said, the only thing I'm not really keen on is there's no boot over top of this. I'm not 100% sure. I'm sure they're gonna do fine, but anyways, we'll see what happens. They don't look like they're going to be too hard to change, so I'll do the shocks first, and then I'll do the sway bar, because it looks like the sway bar. So if I do the sway bar first, it might be in the way of doing the shocks here, so I'll just change the shocks first and then put the sway bar on. I think I might have to take my spare tire down for that too. But anyways, and there are the brackets right there. That should keep my upper stable loads from sliding. Well, that wasn't so bad. Well, guys, I'm hoping it's not going to be too big of a deal, but I had to actually put the jack underneath here because this wasn't quite long enough. It was about, I had to raise it about 3/8 of an inch to get that holder line up there. I'm not sure if you can even see it very well, but so I'm hoping that it's not going to be a problem now. Obviously, my wheels are going to be on the ground. Unless it's on the hoist, it's the only time it's going to be up. So it shouldn't be that big of a deal. But yeah, I was a little bit surprised that it's supposed to be direct replacement, and yet the OEM ones are a little bit longer than the Fox. Yes, I mean, honestly, if it took me 15 minutes to change this shock, and this will be one of the more awkward ones here compared to the back because it's kind of a tight fit up here with this wire loom right there. But so anyways, we'll put her together. So far so good. And then we'll hit the other side. I'm going to do the two fronts first. They're the hardest ones. And then the backs, then I'll raise the truck up a little bit because the truck is going to be, the truck's a little bit low to do the back one. So when I'm done the fronts, because they're the perfect height right now, I'll just raise the truck up. So thank God for the hoist. Did the other side there, and it went like, wow, actually that side didn't take me long, but I bet you this side probably did it in less than 5 minutes. You can see the two top bolts right there, and then the one bolt at the bottom there. So yeah, pretty easy changeover. There's more room on this side too to work on it because there was no, harness wasn't actually on there. The other side was a little bit tighter, but yeah, no big deal. We'll see how those shocks work. I haven't done the back ones yet, but you know what? She's 5 p.m. and I think, you know what? That's enough for one day. I made those brackets on the back there, fixed the one that got bent over there, got the other ones up there painting, 2 shocks changed, and of course I had to get this thing in here and get the tires off it. So that's enough for one day. Tomorrow we'll do the 2 back shocks and possibly get that sway bar put on. And that's about all I was actually going to do to the truck, as far as I know. Anyways, guys, you guys have a good night, and we'll catch you again in the morning. I'm going to go have a shower, and I know I'm going to be turning the AC on in that camper tonight because it is hot. Anyways, guys, hopefully everybody's doing good, and we will see you tomorrow. Morning, guys. Day 2. So yesterday I made those brackets up. Just got myself a coffee. There's those brackets there, and that's going to be used to hold the upper stable loads from rotating sideways. And I'll show you that when they're installed. And then got the front 2 shocks on. And now I'm going to do the back shocks and the stabilizer. I'll be taking the spare tire off just to make more room. Stormy said she's going to give me a hand today. Right, Storm? She was up most of the night there barking at the coyotes to protect me, so she's doing a good job, right? All right, just have a couple more sips and get at her.
Are you ever lonely? Do you ever think of me? I heard you got a new man. I hope it treats you right. And before you toss this letter away, there's something that I've got to say. An aeroplane shooting across the sky can surely take your body to a new place for a while. but some things stay no matter where you go. Do you still love me, Liza, babe? Please tell me yes or no. When the world turns ugly, we turn inside, try to find a good thing we can stand behind. All my friends tell me she's the one that got away, but you never left me like a ghost you stay. There's nothing else worth thinking of when you find the one you love. An aeroplane shooting across the sky can surely take your body to.
So when it comes to installing the sway bar, it says here in the instructions that you're to install it with the truck on the ground, so the suspension is being used. But there's some brackets to be put on, so I'm going to put them on first. And I'm glad I'm doing it this way, because one of the brackets gets installed here at the bottom of the shock mount here. And they're there. There's welded. Let's see if we can get the flashlight in here. So you could probably see that inside there, the nuts are welded there, but they're not tapped. And it even says in the piece of paper, if they're, like in the instructions here, if they're not tapped, to tap them, 10 mil by 1.25. So thank God that Jared has a set here, so, and that this thing's up in the air. I mean, yeah, it could be done, but you'd be laying on the ground. So I've got to tap these 4 bolts here, or sorry, nuts that are welded inside the brackets here for the shocks. And then up front here, there's 2 plates to be installed. And I'll mount the sway bar on, but I won't actually hook it up to the linkage up front, and I'll show you what I mean afterwards. I'll just use some tie wraps just to hold the sway bar up. Once I get done with the truck and I get her on the wheels again, then I'll mount basically attach the sway bar. So it's a hell of a lot easier to do it this way first. So anyways, that's where we stand right now. And surprisingly enough, I haven't smacked my head on anything yet. That was actually my number one concern, was all these pieces sticking out. I was going to end up losing some DNA, but so far so good. I'll possibly just change that though, but. Front brackets here for the sway bar. So this is the link here, and it goes up and it attaches here. And I started recording it, but I stopped because I was ready to pull my hair out. You can see this wire sticking out of the frame here. So what they want you to do is shove that wire with this plate that's tacked on the end of it down here to a hole and bolt this saddle here up into that plate. And I'll just show you what it is. So this is it in the kit here. So this is this wire that they want you to slide down the frame, and then they want you to bolt this underneath it. And of course the plate is just sitting there in the frame. So that took, I'm going to say probably a good half hour, and some choice words, and one leg up on the bench and the other one over here holding your tongue sideways. Because as soon as you put this up through the hole there to try to thread it, the plate just lifts up. Because you can't, there's nothing to hold the plate down. So you just got this wire here at the end here, and I'm just going to cut that wire off, obviously, and it's just going to stay in the frame. But I'm like, oh my gosh, couldn't they make something a little bit easier? But so yeah, so you take this wire here and you put it through the frame and you just shove it down and boof, simple, eh? And just bolt the saddle to it. Come on, how hard could that be? Anyways, so I got this side. So I'm gonna put the sway bar on. I don't know, like if it reaches right now, I'll probably put the bolt in just to hold it there, but obviously I won't do the final adjustments until this thing's back on the ground. But anyways, yeah, so I'll just go to the other side and put that in the other side and see how long this one takes me. And I'm not gonna record it because it's just too painful. I mean, I don't wanna see myself do it, let alone you guys have to watch me do it. So anyways, let's keep going. Well, guys, there's the other side right there. So there's the hanger off there. Surprisingly, when I put you can see I just left the wire sticking out a little bit and cut it off just in case something happens. I can still pull that out. But surprisingly, that one actually didn't go on too bad. I was actually quite surprised. So now I have to mount this sway bar up there. Now this thing's, I'm going to say it's probably, like it's heavy, but I don't know how heavy it would be. It'd be about 60 pounds, I guess. But I mean, to hold it up here like this and put the bracket on and everything yourself is, so I might have a bit of a plan. I don't know. We'll see if my plan's actually going to pay off. I'm just using that for leverage, guys. I just want to see how close that'll be. See, that's a hell of a lot easier to lift. See? I think that'll work. She's a little awkward by yourself, and when you have no friends, you got nobody to help you, so you got to come up with ideas. Okay, you know what actually surprises me? When I just slap these bushings on here, I just stuck them on, and yet they're lining up pretty good, so that's not bad for a guess. I just thought of it now when I'm putting the bolts in, I'm thinking, wait a minute, I didn't have to move those bushings over. Obviously that wasn't skill, that was just luck, but still, I'll take it. The only thing that I'm a little concerned about is because of what I do with this thing, that sway bar is hanging quite low. And I sure hope that's not going to interfere with me doing my off-road and logging roads and stuff like that. And I'll guarantee it is, because I hope that's something I'm going to have to be really mindful. Now, my next upgrade on this thing, which I've told you before, will be tires. And these are 31.5-inch high tires, and the max I can go, because of the dually, is 33-inch. So I'm definitely going to go to a 33-inch tire, which will give me, what, a 3/4 of an inch, like split the difference, so it'll be 3/4 of an inch higher, but I'm losing way more than 3/4 of an inch. Because, I mean, look at this. Like, when I would straddle something, I could actually aim for this area in here somewhere. Well, now this is hanging way down here, and then on this side, same thing. It's pretty well level with the bottom of the pumpkin here, but I'm losing all this stuff. So I guess it's something I'm just going to have to take care of. So I'm going to torque down those bolts to specs. And like I said, I'm not adjusting this thing, because they say you have to wait until it's on the ground, right, to adjust, which makes sense. This is going to go, obviously, up. And they want you to have this parallel. So that's I'm just temporarily just holding it there so it doesn't swing down and bonk me in the head. But actually, that didn't go on too bad. So shocks are done, sway bars on. I don't know if I mentioned this before, but so earlier, I better shut this radio off here before YouTube puts me in jail. I'm not sure if I told you this before, but so I got the DC charger 30 amp that I already installed in the camper, which is a video I got to do because I haven't shown the upgrades, but I haven't actually come off here yet. So my plan is, and it's a Victron smart charger. It knows when the truck's running and when the truck's not running, so it'll shut itself off so it doesn't drain the battery. But I do not want to have these wires hot when I take the camper off and have this cable sitting in the back of the box. So I'm going to go fuse off the battery to a continuous duty solenoid. Then I'm going to run a switch into the cab and then run the wires along the frame. And then they'll come up just on the inside here by on the inside, because my 7-pin plug from the truck to the camper plugs in there. And right beside is where I mounted the plug for the DC-DC charger. So what I did is I actually went online and I bought a trolling motor plug. So if you have an electric trolling motor and it's rated at 70 amps and it's a 30 amp controller, so that's good to go. And I'm running number 2 wires on the frame, and there's number 2 wires inside the cab, or inside the camper already. So obviously number 2 is good for 105 amps. No, 125 amps. Number 3 is good for 105 amps. And it's, of course, good quality copper. Do not get the ACC, the aluminum cladded copper. If you see ACC, yes, it's cheaper. Run. You want 100% quality copper wire whenever you do anything like this. And what I like to use, is actually good quality welding cable. So there's the number 2 right here that I'm gonna be running along the frame. And so it's good for 60 volts, which obviously it's 12 volts, and it's number 2, and it's 100% copper. So that's what I'm gonna be using on the truck. And that's actually what I use inside the camper. Something else I didn't tell you is I ordered 2 340 amp hour lithium batteries. So 2 340 amp hour lithium batteries, and I just got notified that they're on their way. So that'll be a big project, changing that over. I already have the 3,000 watt inverter and stuff like that, and as I go through that project, I'll show you what I've done and then show you what my plans are. Hey guys, another day coming to an end. So like I said, I got the sway bar. I lowered the truck down because I'm actually looking under the hood right now, and I'll show you why in a second, but you'll see these wires. That's the next project. That should tell you what my next plan is. Anyways, shock, sway bars on. I'm gonna take the tires, easy there, tough guy. I'm gonna take the tires out in the pad there tomorrow and pressure wash them and then put them back on. And then that way I can actually back this truck up and get in my door a little bit easier. But actually, I shouldn't say that. I'm going to hold off the tires for a little bit because I'm going to need to run some wires. And yeah, I just spent the last hour figuring out these 2 batteries in here because, of course, the manual does not tell you exactly how they're wired, and I figured them out now. So I got 2 alternators on this truck, a 250 amp alternator on this side and a 175 on this side. And just the way it looks right now, that's my main battery over there. And this battery here, I don't really know what the hell it's doing. It's not doing a whole lot because this 175 amp alternator over here, it goes to that fuse block there, but it also goes over and goes onto a fuse over here, which is 175 amp. And then there's a 250 amp fuse that goes down to this alternator here. And that's all my main connections. And when you jump start the truck, that's the one they want you to jump start with. This one has a little relay in here, and it's got 1 wire coming back from that fuse block over here. You see the fuses here. And it's 100 amp, and it goes back to a relay and then turns on, and it goes on, then it goes on to the post of this one. Other than that, there's nothing else coming off this one, so it's only 100 amp fuse. So if anybody knows exactly what this battery is here for, like why, if it's 2 batteries, that they're not both joined and both sharing the load, I don't know. So if you guys have any ideas of why, let me know, please. And then I also found, which is kind of odd, a wiring harness, or a plug, I should say, right here. That, whoops, sorry, I don't even know if, maybe I should get some light down there. So I got this plug right here, and the other end is right here. Now, it looks clean, because I just cleaned them, but they were both dirty but not plugged in. But I try to trace this wire. It looks like it goes down to my fog lights, which, to be honest, I've never ever turned on. Now, they say the fog lights will not come on unless the vehicle's running. So I'm just going to leave it unplugged, try to turn my fog lights on. If it don't work, and I'll plug it in. So from day one, that harness may never have been plugged in. So anyways, so you know what? There's going to be enough video for a little bit here. I'm probably going to be over my 20 minutes or 25 minutes of video. So I'm going to sign off for now. Glad you guys have been hanging out with me here. Obviously, I'm no professional. I'm no mechanic or anything like this, but I've kind of worked on stuff for a while. So kind of, when you grow up on a farm and you do a lot of your own stuff, you tend to learn these stuff. But anyways, guys, listen, I'm going to let you go for now, and I will catch you on the next one. So guys, as usual, be good, be kind, be careful, and we will see you shortly and continue with this mess. All right, guys, later. Oh boy. Oh boy.